This will be the largest study. This will be the only trial that involves just a single administration as opposed to multiple administrations in a day. So it's very easy for the patient to schedule things. It's very easy for the doctor to schedule things. And that's why we think this is going to be a really scalable solution for the treatment of treatment-resistant depression.
Hello, you're watching Proactive. Joining me is ATAI Life Sciences CEO and co-founder, Dr. Srinivas Rao. Srinivas, we're talking about ATAI's strategic investment, Beckley Psytech's phase 2A data for BPL-003. That's for alcohol use disorder. Tell us more about this and why it matters.
Absolutely. Well, first of all, thank you very much for having me on, Stephen. It's good to see you again. Yeah, we're very excited about these new results that we had a press release on a couple of days ago. Obviously, alcohol use disorder is a big unmet medical need. There's about 400 million people in the world that suffer from are diagnosed with alcohol use disorder. It causes 3 million deaths per year as results in 3 million deaths per year. It's difficult to treat. It's really a challenge to treat. It's obviously a chronic disease. And so what these trial results were interesting is it's a small study, 12 patients, so-called open label trial. So we didn't have a comparator like a placebo group. But essentially what happened is the patients were dosed with a single administration of BPL-003 on top of an initiated, standard cognitive behavioral therapy, which is, used with this patient population. And we found just remarkable results. So essentially, we had about 50% of patients being completely abstinent for 3 months, which is really challenging in this patient population. Heavy drinking days dropped from 56% down to 13%. That's about 7 units of alcohol for a woman and 9 units of alcohol per day for a man. So it's a substantial amount of drinking. And increase the abstinent days from up to 81%, 33% up to 81% at 3 months. So, these are hugely clinically meaningful results and can make a pretty meaningful impact, have a very meaningful impact on the patients themselves.
What's the next data milestone on the horizon, Srinivas?
So the next one that we're looking forward to is actually the results of a large phase 2B study that's currently ongoing. So just to remind everybody, BPL-003 is 5-methoxy-DMT that's sprayed into the nose. It's intranasal, kind of like this other compound that's broadly available called Esketamine or Spravato in the United States. It's also for treatment-resistant depression. That one is, again, it's Esketamine. It's selling around $1 billion. And the nice thing about, the Esketamine has an established paradigm. You kind of go into the doctor's office, you're dosed with the medication, you're monitored for 2 hours, and then you leave. The problem with esketamine is that you have to be redosed very frequently. What we're looking at in this upcoming phase 2B trial is single administration and seeing what the results, seeing what the potential benefits are out at 4 weeks. A single administration as opposed to 8 administrations over 4 weeks for Spravato. And then we're going to follow them for another 4 weeks. So this is the first it's going to be the largest double-blind placebo-controlled trial of 5-methoxy-DMT. We were encouraged by some results that came out yesterday for the very first double-blind placebo-controlled trial of 5-methoxy-DMT in treatment-resistant depression, which were quite encouraging. But this will be the largest study. This will be the only trial that involves just a single administration as opposed to multiple administrations in a day. So it's very easy for the patient to schedule things. It's very easy for the doctor to schedule things. And that's why we think this is going to be a really scalable solution for the treatment of treatment-resistant depression.
Can you explain the benefits of short duration psychedelics? Why does duration matter?
Yeah, so it actually goes back to Spravato. And, this is what we've been interested in at ATAI. This is what we have an internal program, BLS-01, that was designed to fit into this 2-hour paradigm that I mentioned. So again, the patient comes in, they're administered Spravato intranasally. They are obligated to stay in the doctor's office for 2 hours. Once safety has been assessed at the end of that time, they can be discharged. J&J has done an amazing job of setting up the infrastructure for this paradigm. And it took them a little while to do that. But, of course, they have the muscle to do that. And again, this drug hit $1 billion in sales last year. As I mentioned, the challenge with Spravato is lots of administration. So over the first 4 weeks of treatment, you have to go in 8 times. So you have to get to the doctor's office, you have to be administered the drug, hang out, and you can't drive home. So this is impactful in a patient's life, and it reduces the bandwidth, if you will, at the doctor's at the provider's site, right? Because they have to have all of this time slotted for each individual patient. So what we've been focused on is a compound or compound class that has that same 2-hour paradigm, but much less frequent dosing. And both BPL-003 and VLS-01 fall within that scope. So again, as I mentioned, BPL-003, single administration, 4-week endpoint. VLS-01, we're looking at something a little bit different with our phase 2 there. 2 administrations, still a primary endpoint at 4 weeks, just to see if there's an incremental benefit of giving 2 administrations of these short duration compounds. But you can see that this makes life a lot easier for the patients. It increases the amount of patients that a given provider can also treat. So that's why we're really excited about this.
Hope you'll keep us updated on that phase 2b study. Thank you very much for speaking with us today.
Absolutely. Thank you.
That's Dr. Srinivas Rao, ATAI Life Sciences CEO and co-founder.